All right. Welcome back, NASCAR. Welcome back, everybody, to round 2. MB Drifts, the smoke show, and sunburns. So join us back here at the beautiful Rockingham Speedway. There you see a nice aerial provided by MBK Productions. So MBK Productions doing the aerial and the live stream for us. Big shout out to them. So you see there, we're going to start into our top 32. So all the drivers down there on grid, you see that? They got the top 32s about to start. Basically what we do is once we get into our seedings from last event, so every driver that competed last event will fall into a placement, 1 to 32. Depending on drivers coming in, showing up and stuff like that, there may be a segment where there's open slots. So per se, we have 24 drivers. The remaining drivers will have to go into a qualifying format. So the qualify for highest qualifier to fall into the top 32. So essentially what they're doing is kind of what FD and Formula Drift does. So if you get first place qualifier, then you're going to fall into that 25th spot and so on. There may be some time or whatnot where you might have to have a battle if somebody has kind of a similar score or whatnot. You have two people that are kind of tied for 32. You're going to go ahead and battle it on out. With that being said, some of our event last month for round 1, going to go into our standings. So coming out in 10th place, the man, Mr. Consistent. This is his track right here. Pull out, I actually used him for an example on the video with the drone footage, running through the course. Perfect line. Tony drives. Anton Shenderov, 10th place for the season. 8th place, had some car troubles last event, jumped into a different vehicle and ended up getting 9th place. Andy the Wish LZ, Mr. Andy Lacoste Wright. 8th spot, driving his heart out, Mr. Brandon Goodman. 7th position, Gabe Broyles. 6th, Dan Stoneburner. 5th position, Nate McDuffy. And 4th, Tyler Williams. Getting into your top 3 in standings. 3rd place from the 2024 season. Looking at Max Seabear. 2nd place, been a long time coming. Got the podium last time. Been driving with us about 4 years. Mr. Derek Gaskins. And coming back with a year off. Getting that 1st place podium last event in a different car, 350Z, used to see in the S14, Shake and Bake, Wade Smith. So I give a round of applause for these drivers and congratulate them on their standings so far. So we'll see who can pull off the win today as these drivers navigate this course. So what we do is basically each course progressively gets harder. So round 1 to be easy little layout. Round 2 have a little more technical flow to it. Kind of work on your line and all that stuff. And then round 3, we're going to have a big course. So it's going to test everything that you've learned in the first 2 layouts and kind of stretch it out and run into a big course. Will be a little bit of a high horsepower friendly, but with that, you just got to use that speed and momentum. So see that with the drivers getting up the grid. So we got our judges in the house today. Stacy Babb. Off grid, you go down there, get some practice laps down in Gresham, South Carolina, right outside of Conway, Myrtle Beach, the off-grid motorsports park. Adam Rozek. Then we got a legend in the sport up top, getting the bird's eye view. Paul Smith coming in, joining. So we want to give a round of applause and thank these judges for doing the dirty work. It's not an easy job, stuff like that. So if you're curious about what we do here and the judging criteria and whatnot, basically what we do is, you know, you're going to have a set of cars. One driver is going to lead. The other car is going to follow. In the lead position, you want to throw down the best lap you can. So you want to throw down a 100-point qualifying run. As a chase driver, you want to be able to mimic the lead driver's line, speed, and angle. So you want to not only be close with close proximity, but having that mimic, that mirrored image of that line, speed, and angle. You know, a lot of drivers will throw in the style points, kind of show the wow factor there. Pretty much all of our judging criteria can be found at mbdrift.com. So if you want to take that, we also have our tech sheet. If you ever want to get into the sport yourself, you can kind of see what it takes to get a car on the track. And then turn it around. So once the chase car follows the lead car, then they will switch positions, and the chase driver will now have a chance to lead, to throw down their best lap in the lead position. And in chase position, it'll basically be the same. You want to mirror that line speed and angle. Now you will see there will be deductions. You know, if you get a tire off course, if you dirt drop or anything like that, that's things that judges are going to be looking for deductions. You know, having one tire off course, or straightening for just a moment, or an opposite drift. So in a position where you need to be drifting, you're understeering, and or you straighten and reinitiate drift. That could be a deduction as well. Also, if you get into the situation where you make contact with the car in front of you, if you are deemed at fault for the crash, that's going to be a major deduction on you as well. And then, you know, both cars are going to have to go in the pits depending on damage. They might be able to pull it off, might not. So there's many different factors that the judges look for. A couple other ones, you know, just throttle control, throttle modulation. You know, you want to see you excelling in certain areas, decelling in certain areas, so those could also count against you as well. So that's just where you want to go look at the rule book and educate yourself if you want to drive and be in a competitive setting. Kind of do that. We see some of these guys over here in the fun runs. So that's another thing that we do as well. Anytime that you're in competition, if you get knocked out for some reason, we always have a fun course running all day long. So you can go over there and get some more laps in till the end of the night. Once we do this, then about 7, we're going to run 7 to 10 for night drifting. Just waiting on a couple more factors, and then I think we'll be ready to ride. We'll just take a pause here just a moment and see where we're at. Then whenever you're ready, you can send. Where are we at? All right, so the first pairing we're going to have is last round's winner and points leader, Wade Smith, rocking the blue 350Z. Paired up beside Daniel Sepe, rocking the BMW. See here, both drivers gonna warm up their tires, get some heat up in there. We got some volunteers down there helping out, making sure they got the right tire size, everything. And we see Brian is sending, so here we go, Wade Smith coming up, initiating into that first corner. It's getting a little bit shallow of that touch and go from, it seemed like, from here. Gonna try to get into that rear zone. Like Daniel having to run a little bit of a shallower angle to get through. A lot of angle on that switchback, kind of lost momentum. I think it's safe to say Wade has pulled through with the advantage. So right there we got Wade throwing it down. See right there, it seemed like Daniel in the back kind of got choked up a little bit. Had a little bit of a wonky transition, kind of got choked up a little bit. So I'm gonna look here on the replay just as you are at home. So see there on the switchback, they kind of got jacked up, huh? So right there, man, Wade got fair use of that rear zone there. So you see right there, Daniel taking a big old angle stall, kind of messing up the line just a hair. So drivers are going to reverse roles Daniel Sepe in the white BMW going to take the lead. So right here, pretty much Daniel needs to throw down a heater of a lead lap, and hopefully Wade makes a big mistake behind. So see Daniel doing pretty good. Nice line so far, getting into that front clip, reaching way out on that rear zone. Nice angle on that, getting into that rear clip, and nice wide line, bringing it around, man. Woo. That right there, so the judges are going to make their decision on that, man. If, you know, Daniel had a really, really good lead lap, but in chase was just had that one mistake. So see what the judges have to say. We got Darren out here going to make the call, so we'll have both drivers pull up right in front of the crowd for Darren to make the call. So judges call Wade Smith taking the win in the first battle of the top 32. See both drivers doing a little victory burnout per se. So we have them. All right. So we got our next pairing at the line. We got Brett Dysart and Oleg Volkov. Oleg's car had a diff issue, so ended up jumping in a different vehicle. So he had to make a qualifying pass in that vehicle per the rules. You have to compete in the car that you qualified in. So luckily had enough time to make one pass in the orange 370Z there. So we see Mr. America himself, Brett Dysart, doing this. Him and his son have a pretty good program. So there we go, Brett Dysart in entry. A little bit shallow on that rear clip, getting into that front clip pretty good. A little shallow with that rear zone. Seemed like a little bit of shallow, except for the front clips, but definitely a nice line coming through there. Held the composure. Always an exciting driver to watch. You know, Brett got the whole family in it. They do the Crown 9 series here as well. Derek Gaskins, Alex Bradley, they do Crown 9 here as well. So if you guys are in the area, come check that out as well. I just said as well so many times. That's funny. But they're going to loop back around, make their second pass. But yeah, talking about Brett and his brother and son, they got a program, and they, you know, work on these cars. They love the Mustang chassis. Done a lot with them. Started out here in the Mustang chassis and just keep progressing to become even better drivers and, you know, building their program as well. So they got some YouTube, just as anybody here. Go follow these drivers. Check out their social media pages. Give them a like and a subscribe. Brett Dysart in chase. Seem about the same scenario as far as line. We'll see around this rear zone. Yeah, so they're both running about the same line. Oleg a little bit deeper into that section. Had Brett get a little bit choked up in the rear, but we'll see here. We'll look back at the replay. See what we're gonna have to make the call on. So right there, we see Oleg getting a little bit on the, out in that rear touch and go from that side. It's kind of a little bit far, but as mentioned, both drivers running pretty much the same line. Oleg had a little bit deeper penetration into that rear clip on the far side of the track.
So Oleg,
so look here again. I know you guys in the crowd can't see what we see, but those of you at home can check it out. All right, the judges are going with one more time. Both drivers making it a little bit too difficult to make the call. So to all you other drivers out there, don't let it be a one more time, because that could be an advantage or a disadvantage for somebody. You want to go out there and put down your best lap, put on the most pressure, so that way the judges don't have to make a call. It's like, hey, he definitively won. So, you know, you just want to make sure that the judges have a clear decision. So that's where, you know, just honing your skills coming in. So those drivers will go around, they'll do one more time. Not sure if they're going to do it right now or they'll do it a little bit later on here. So we got Brandon Goodman warming up some tires down there. So we have Brandon Goodman and Will Hawkins. Brandon Goodman had the higher qualifying score in the position at 8th, so he's going to lead first. So for those of y'all that are following, trying to learn a little bit about drifting, so whenever you come into the top 32, whoever has the first lead lap is going to be the higher qualifier. So it looks like these drivers actually are going to say, hey, to heck with it, let's get it done, come back through with her one more time. So we're going to have Daart and Volkov back up to the line. They're going to go ahead and run this one more time battle, get it out of the way. One excellent thing about Rockingham Speedway, the pavement, the tires last forever, so you ain't got to worry about changing tires or nothing, man. You could rock the whole weekend.
Yeah, good point.
So here we go, upon entry. Daart getting a little bit deeper of a line, knowing you have to put on that pressure. Kind of about the same there. We'll see here, running about the same line. You know, we're watching the overhead view down here. Pretty much the same exact line. I would say from my viewpoint, that almost seemed like the same exact run as we just saw. So judges, again, are going to have their hands full. Yep, all right, so there you go. Yeah, zone 1 was a little better. Yeah, Daart did get a little bit deeper into that. Seemed like it was just a little bit off from them zones, but this is where you really got to stretch your legs on your car. A lot of these guys and girls, you know, do a lot of gearing and stuff like that. Obviously, if you have the power, but if you don't have the power, you can always run like a shorter or longer rear gear, kind of get yourself out there and stuff like that.
So Oleg switched up cars. He had the blue car last year.
Yep.
Now he's got another car.
So yeah,
this is like a third
build
car.
a V8 Genesis, then the differential went bad in that, so ended up borrowing this car. So Oleg running, it looks like right there, that was a little bit of a weird straight kind of thing, which you see did not get back far. I think just from myself watching this, I already have a decision in my head. But seemed like Oleg had just a weird thing, but you know, you can't knock it because being in you know, a borrowed car, you're not really comfortable with it. You'll see right there in the Orange 370Z, Oleg Volkov, they're doing drift events out at Anderson Motor Speedway out in Anderson. So if you're out in that area, check them out and be sure to support because the sport depends on all of us, you know. So right there, you have the winner. Team America, Brett Daart taking the win. And just seemed for me, yeah, Oleg just had like a weird line, wasn't really too deep into that rear zone.
But like you said, with the borrowed car, he might have been not have been 100% comfortable.
Yeah, and I think they only got maybe like 3 or 4 laps in it before coming straight into competition. So you got to understand it. Things happen. You know, that's kind of the same thing that happened in round 1 when Andy borrowed the supercharged Colorado. You know, wasn't really comfortable in it. You don't really want to crash somebody else's car or put on any kind of like, you know, extreme pressure to, you know, you don't want to crash somebody else's stuff. So it's kind of playing the safe route and taking it by there. Speaking of Andy Wright, here he comes leading.
Yep.
Oh, my fault. Brandon Goodman and Will Hawkins. So there we got Brandon Goodman. You see him dragging that left foot brake, dragging that front tire. Getting into there, it looks like Chase car had to shut it down just a little bit.
Goodman
right there. Goodman getting a little bit off track,
there.
but that's after the finish line, so looking pretty good on that. So they're going to come back around.
Goodman did drop one front tire off.
Oh, did he drop one tire
inside
as well?
the
All
white
right.
line? So he'll get at least a little bit of a deduction for that.
So they said the judges say he dropped almost 2 coming across.
Looked like one to me, but I couldn't tell for certain.
So Brandon Goodman, can we get another
replay again?
All right, so we're gonna get that one. They're gonna look back, get another replay. So Brandon Goodman's gonna go to the back, and Will Hawkins is gonna go in for the lead run. So right there, you got the judges deliberating, watching that replay again. It seems like
here we go
they're
again.
deliberating on more of a tire issue there. So here they go. Leading, you see that big left foot brake dragging that front tire. Really good line coming around through there, throwing that big body car around there. A little adjustment on that coming through that little secondary bridge. Goodman doing a good job on chase.
Yeah.
We should have told Brian the whole track.
Hey, Mine, make sure you're waiting for the judges to be ready. They weren't ready on that one. Has it got anything for a replay on that? Replay on this last one? The second run. No, the replay on this last
All right, so judges having to deliberate. It's one of those ones where, again, it's little tiny mistakes that tit for tat, you know. So that's where they just got to nitpick, and that's why the judges, nobody ever wants to be a judge, because it's the hardest job in the thing. Like, I feel like as organizers, it's hard for us to manage everything and get everything set up, and make sure everything's moving as smoothly as possible. But the judges, man, there's some tough calls, and we're only in the second battle or third battle, you know what I'm saying? So
it's tough to put all this stuff together all the time.
Absolutely. So, just take this time to really thank, all of our volunteers and staff that's out there on track, making sure that everything is running smoothly. While Marshall get to sit up here and chit chat. So
somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, man. Sorry, there the judges still making their call on.
Because it overlaps.
So there you go. Those of y'all on TV, you see the nice rock in the background. When they switch back to us, we got a brand new banner out back. So we'll give a shout out to all of our sponsors that make this happen. Oh, give me one moment. So all the sponsors that make this happen and help us do what we do. A buddy down in Myrtle Beach. Powder coating by C. Ray, Corey Ray. Powder coating needs. Steven Larson, driver here with us, our tech guy. Turbo Time, Subaru specialist. Get you any parts you need realistically. Got the shop if you need anything. You need to get fixed or any parts you need to buy, hit up Steven. Cruisin' Auto Performance, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Doing a dyno. Shop, just opened a new shop, so congratulations to them. Got a big old shop. They're working on a lot of cool classics, JDM cars and stuff like that. Bridge Moto, all your safety gear. So if you need any like safety gear, seats, seat belts, helmets, anything like that, go over and check out Bridge Moto. Stage Wheels, Bill over at Stage Wheels, cool cat. You can see a lot of cars out here running Stage Wheels. Got great designs. I feel like the Monroe is probably the most popular. ECU Master, get that standalone ECU. So anything you need, like if you're deciding to upgrade or whatever, pretty much we set all this stuff up. So each driver can maintain all the gear he needs. So there we go, coming in to that rear zone. Goodman getting pretty good out there. A little bit shallow on that rear clip, but end up pushing right on through. Hunky Dory Designs, Olivia Walsh doing all your sticker needs, does a lot of stickers and stuff like that. Does livery designs, so if you need a livery design, go ahead up Olivia Walsh, Hunky Dory Designs.
Yeah, so what do y'all think about our new backdrop?
Fortune Auto. Yeah, that's what I was saying. We haven't been on there yet, but Fortune Auto coilovers. So, all these companies we have all have driver discount programs. So, long story short, if you want to get some parts or whatever, hit us up. You get that driver discount. Go represent, help them, help us.
Yeah.
So, big shout out to all the sponsors.
Yeah.
Making things happen.
Any likes and shares you can give to all of them is much appreciated. And Like I said, brand new banner. We're trying to spray, look a little more professional here.
Yeah, have that backdrop. So there we go. Both drivers entering up, getting into that. Oh, mowing down the cone. Seemed like there was just like a long e-brake drag. Kind of got, but into that rear zone, nice and plentiful. Getting into that rear clip, just a hair off front clip in the second hash mark, finishing out strong for both drivers. So again, this is gonna be a tough one for the judges' call. So they're gonna watch the replay here. So right there, they're 2 tires off right there on that initiation, man. Woo-wee. Kind of overshot just a hair. So here we're gonna see the call between Brandon Goodman and Will Hawkins. So Brandon Goodman in the white S13. And Will over there in the Infinity, which I'm really digging the hood scoop. I love the vents.
Yeah. And it's S13 rear with the S14 front, I guess, huh?
Oh, no way.
Look at the headlights.
Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah, I should have paid attention to S14. Yeah. I didn't want to say S14 if it was R32 or something like that.
But the back is totally S13.
All right, Brandon Goodman getting the win.
Yeah.
I would say that, to me, that a lot of that decision came down from, just the overshoot into that first initiation point into that rear touch and go. So pretty much with that touch and go, you just want to be in and out as quick as you can. Rear zones you want to stay into. So pretty much those rear zones, you'll see them big boxes out there on track. You want to carry your car and carry your momentum through the whole portion of that track for as long as the box you can. And pretty much with that, all these clipping points and rear zones and stuff are designed just for the, the flow of the line. Sometimes it's a little tricky, but in reality, it teaches you new tricks.
Yeah, and also it gives the chase car an opportunity to be able to run a good line against you.
Yes, a good clean line.
FD started doing that a lot more this year too.
So here we go, Andy and Chris. So I got Andy Wright borrowing Steven Larson from Turbo Times Subaru. Chris Pass in the back with the LS RX-7. Both drivers doing a really good job, man.
Yeah. All right, I like that.
We found out the pink RX-7, Chris there, used to drive with Marshall back in the day in like the Southeast Drift Association in what?
Yeah, in Atlanta
03,
area.
04, Atlanta area.
Yeah.
And then Andy, he's like, I heard somebody say earlier, he was like, oh, I don't want to borrow a car because I don't know if I can drive it. Well, here you are in another car.
Yeah, ripping.
So I feel like, doing pretty good. In the Subaru, had some practice laps. I saw was over on the fun course throwing it down, just getting used to the car and all that stuff. Chris Pass in the back in the RX-7 doing a fantastic job of staying chase. So we'll flip the rolls around and see what Chris can do up front. See what Andy can do in chase. So here we go, Chris coming in. Nice angle. You can see the white dust coming off from being in that zone. Andy ain't slouching, staying right there. Man, Chris throwing a really, really good line right there. Andy having trouble keeping up when the power comes out. So, man. So that was a pretty good run by both drivers. I mean, you see right here on the replay, Chris throwing it down a really good line. Could have been a little deeper into that rear zone, but right there in that rear clip, making fantastic use of it and running that wider line to allow Andy to be able to tuck up in there and make the pass. So see here, the judges are deliberating what they got. Yeah, so it's a split decision at this moment in time so far. So just waiting on the word. And judges call Andy with the win.
Wow, close call.
That was a close call.
Close call.
Do you care? What was the deciding factor for you on there? I mean, yeah. We'll wait till they. Well, yeah, I say we'll wait till they pull off real quick, and then.
Andy on his lead was tire on the line. However, Philip on his lead was tires over the line twice.
All right, so.
It was so close.
So close. It came down. It gave down the lead tire line of being your tires were inside or outside of the line, huh? Wow, man, that's crazy. See, that's how nitpicky it gets. So, and we're still in top 32. When it gets down to that top 8, man, these drivers are going to have a tough time. Not only because the skill level, but then poor judges. They have to go on to it. Looks. Yep, Tyler Williams. So here we're gonna have Tyler Williams leading against Tony Martin. Tony got his new build, been trying to get it squared up. So right there, Tyler throwing it in. Tony's gonna try to reel him in. I know Tony. Tony's got the power for it. Just did that HR swap in there. So right there, tuck in. Oh, running big angle, a little bit of an over rotation. Some might be
HR motor.
might be a little bit something there to fall into place, so we'll see the replay. Hey, Tyler throwing it in pretty good on that rear touch and go. Really far out from that rear zone though, but making use of the front clips and the touch and go in the rear. Seemed like Tony just kind of got squared up in that switchback. Just kind of got a little wonky and over rotated. Got the wise fab, but it'll. You know, it's better than over-rotating. At least you can still maintain drift. But at the same time, obviously, you're going to see that, hey, something happened. Can't have that.
I thought I brought a water over here. Can you hand me that water?
Decided to get a drink of some water. So here we go. Driver's going to chase Rose. Tony Martin in the lead. A little bit off of that rear touch and go, but making good use of that front clip. Getting into that rear zone, running away a little bit. Oh, big time washout.
Dang. Almost sounded like the frame hit
Yep.
the edge of the concrete.
So I'm not sure what had happened there. If it was just a little bit of a case of too much speed, trying to throw it in there, or it seemed like just the front tires pushed out a little bit. But I know Tony did have some steering rack troubles and stuff like that. So it's good to see him on track. Having the car back together. So right there, big angle. Seemed like it just threw line off. So with that, kind of sealing your own fate going off track. You know, 4 tires off, obviously gonna get you zeroed out. So right there, judges call Tyler Williams getting the win. You know, Tony's a tough opponent. Tony's not a tough opponent. You know, Tony did staff with us previous years. Wanted to go out and just drive and, you know, have fun, go and travel events, and, you know, being an organizer, it takes a lot. It's every day, all day. It's a lot of stuff. So you really don't have time to do much, but it's cool seeing him back on track. I went up with Tony, was helping him out at Hyperfest up in BIR, and he's having some steering rack issues, power steering issues and stuff like that. So it's good to see him on track, and everything worked out. Absolutely. So our next pairing we're going to have up, we're going to have Rodney Blankenship versus Taylor Walker. Rodney is going to lead first, having the higher qualifying score. It's going down the left side of the bracket. This is going to be 13th qualifier versus 20th. Both drivers always drive pretty good. You know, holding a consistent line. Taylor, really, really good in the chase position. So
The follow driver can start early.
Yeah, if he's chasing, not if he's leading.
Yeah, true.
you know, you just got to make sure that you're running that good lead line to try to get away. Even though it's not a race, it almost is a race because a lot of drivers put a lot of mechanical grip into their vehicle to try to per se have a faster lap time and be able to be on throttle more. So basically you want to have more grip in the car, more lateral grip, side bite, so that way you're actually gaining speed going sideways. So right here we got Brian down there flagging for us on grid, the one and only Mr. Energetic Flagger himself. You got to watch, man. He'll get hype on that flag now. Look at that. Hey, he's probably swatting the flies like everybody else. So here we go. Rodney coming in and Taylor in chase. Rodney making good use of that, getting into that rear zone.
Yeah, he's a pretty.
That's one of the better rear zones that we've seen. Say right there, you know, 2 tires off going in. What am I, tongue-tied? Oh, a little bit of tire jump. But you see, coming around that backside, you know, we have the white line for basically the track edge. Because what we wanted to do on that last corner is force everybody to take a wider line, so there's a cleaner. So you can have a cleaner finish. Opens it up to have a better tandem in the chase. But if you've seen that replay at home or whatnot, you can see that there was definitely 2 tires over the line. So technically that would be 2 tires off track.
Which in our rule book, that's a deduction. 3 tires off is when you get to a 0.
Exactly.
And you can straighten for under 2 seconds without getting a 0, but it's still a major deduction.
So here we go, driver swap rolls. Taylor getting in there, getting into that nice clip, into that rear touch and go. Dragging a little bit of e-brake to stretch it out to get into that rear zone. Rodney is right there. Let's see. Oh, nice left foot braking. Shut it down on the front tires. Be able to dive deep into that pocket. Even though that was an excellent chase, man, I hate to say it. I don't know if that 2-tire thing is going to be. We'll see Taylor's lead from up top and see if Taylor may have made the same mistake. Hopefully, in her case, not. No, right around. All tires in line.
Okay.
So you got the judges debating basically, again, another tit for tat. Is this justify a higher deduction than this? So what they're looking at basically is looking to see if a minor straighten carried more weight than a 2-tire off. So they're looking back at it, and got our third judge looking at the replay again. Tell him to hold track. Tell him to hold track till we let him know.
Make sure y'all hold track down there.
Yeah, until.
Because they don't have the drone out there.
All right. So again, the judges deliberate.
You guys need another replay?
Nah, we're good.
All right, the judges have made their decision. Taylor Walker getting the win. So from what that's showing is so I'd say that, dude, Rodney throwing down a killer line, but the judges have made the call on 2 tires off as weighing heavier than a minor straighten. So you want to make sure that, you know, the judges make the call. But Rodney, man, dude, what a killer lap. That's somebody to look for in the future. I'll say that 100%. Because even last round was doing good. This round doing even better. So cool to see the drivers progress. You know, we have drivers that come out, start out on the fun course or start out at their favorite hometown track.
Yeah, he's actually from Ohio.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
He committed to our series to come to all 3 rounds. And
right on, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So for those of y'all that do drive or looking to get in the drive, support your local track. Big, small, expensive or cheap. Support your local track. Because without the local tracks, we don't have the drivers. And, you know, the track's got to stay open and survive. So here we go.
Okay, drivers are off. Duffy got his car going. All right.
Yeah, I just had to see because McDuffie's car sounds running pretty good. So McDuffy running down pretty good.
Don't
pretty good
act
lead
surprised
line.
now. He runs good sometimes. And
Definitely one of the better lead runs we've seen.
And who do we have in the follow there? Oh, Joe Sauer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming in chase. That was a pretty good chase run too. I mean, definitely could have had a little more proximity in the chase. You know, obviously you want to stay as close to the driver as you can, but Nate was a little bit shallow. Got that front clip, a little bit shallow in the rear. Keeping both tires on track, and that's where it's tricky. It forces you to go wide, come around that clipping point on that last turn. It's all designed, just the flow of it, to make sure that you're pushing out wide, man. So there we go, drivers swap roles. McDuffy in chase, Joe up front. Oh, McDuffy,
Ooh.
big old dirt
Little
drop.
dirt splash. Ooh, dipped a tire there pretty good on the lead.
So I hear the judges saying it was almost the same run except flip-flop. McDuffy, I know, got a lot of dirt up in that tire.
Yeah,
man.
it wasn't obvious except for the splash of dirt there. But then the lead driver on that one also dipped a tire on the last turn.
Yep. So looking back
At least
here,
one.
Joe Sauer had a pretty good lead run, man. You know, both drivers were shallow on certain areas, but for the most part, pretty good lead line, you know.
Yeah.
Reflecting back, McDuffy obviously had a higher qualifying due to higher placement last round.
He's the quick death style team, so you know they're all wheelmen and women. Good drivers over there. They do a lot of events too.
Yeah, absolutely. Driving everywhere, man. They just, you know, helped out up at Hickory running staff. So
Yeah.
hopefully y'all saw what it takes, man. It's a lot of work to run an event. So I got that. Judges watching the replay.
Judges deliberating, having a little conversation, seeing which way to go. Lucking out on this rain, knock on wood that is.
Yeah.
There's a chance, I guess, for later, but it's blistering hot, but not rainy at least. At least we got a consistent surface out there.
Well, I looked at the track temp. I know the sun's coming back out.
Yeah.
I looked at track temps earlier when it was sunny. It was 126, and then
Wow.
after the cloud coverage, it went down to 113. So I'm curious.
Interesting fact there.
Curious of what it is now.
Zach gonna head out with the power
I don't know why I'm fixated on it. I guess because I got my thermometer. All right, 123.8. 160 on your intake temps. Ooh, boy. So you see there, Joe Sauer getting the win.
Wow, edging out.
It literally came down to one extra zone being shallow. That was it. Everything
All right, so hearing from the judges, it came down to one zone being shallow. So one driver being shallow in one particular area of the track is what that came down to. It seemed like. So we're going to have Adam Rozek from Off Grid Motorsports Park here on the mic.
Yeah, so looking, we had to go look back through our notes. Those two runs were almost identical mistakes. What it came down to was Joe was only shallow in one zone, where Nate was shallow in two zones, and that was the deciding factor. That's why we're taking notes and reviewing it.
All right, I like it.
Absolutely, and thank
Some
you guys
thorough
for doing
judges
that.
today.
I know that's what, well, shoot, when you guys have your winter comp series, like, I'm still down to be a judge, man. I help you guys judge. Same thing, you take the notes, so make sure you have it covered in black and white, man. And also that a lot of drivers, too, you know, if you want to do better in competition, ask the judges, what can I do to drive better, or what were my mistakes? So that way you know, so it's like, hey, okay, next time in comp, this is what I need to do.
All right. Y'all good? Okay. Looks like we got...
Tony Martin came the pro test. No, I'm just like... So there we go. Brian dropping the flag. Dustin Walker in front
against
Cameron Gaskins in chase. So
and he was the lead qualifier of the new drivers today.
Driving really well. Earlier when I was watching Dustin Walker, I was thinking to myself, dude, killing it. There was somebody's headlight. Was that a headlight that got
I think
hit?
so.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, he had a problem that he had to fix before comp too. So
yeah, sheared all the studs off of the passenger side rear wheel.
Yeah, but Cameron Griffin was actually our top qualifier of the people who had to qualify today too. So
and
good to see a young driver really kind of.
Derek Gaskins' son, right there. Another driver that came from the sim.
Man, we got some really good younger drivers like Levi Cotwitz and then Ivan Herrera. Man, these young guys are really coming to battle, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, man. And, you know, it's crazy to me because drivers come in straight off the sim and just kill it, whereas, you know, all of us older drivers,
we had to learn the hard way.
Started in like, I don't know. Marshall, whenever you had you had to learn the hard way. There weren't angle kits, there weren't coilovers, there wasn't
somebody to tell you or show you how to do it.
It's like, hey,
we were figuring it out.
Cut your spring and it's lowered now, or something like that. Or hey, man, you know, people started to figure out modifying your knuckle. So here we go.
All right, Cameron in the Mustang.
In the front. Dustin Walker going to put on some pressure. I already see it.
Yeah, going for that door.
They're dragging a little bit of front tire to get in there. A little bit of a dirt drop on that rear. Getting in there, applying the pressure.
Yeah.
Finally was able to catch up.
Nice, exciting finish there.
Oh,
ooh, Cameron going a little wide after the finish line there.
The judge is going to watch the replay on this. See the little tire hop there. It's one thing, you run a little bit of a wider line. Obviously, we have to put tire barriers out in some spots. Eventually, you know, hopefully get permission from the track, whatnot. We can fill in some of these areas with concrete.
We got our second course going today also. It's running at the same time. Looks like they're doing a little course cleanup at the moment, but must have been a few off tracks there to drag some dirt out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, though. The more track you add, the further your line goes out. So you just keep, it's a forever add.
Yeah.
See the media out there on track. Just want to make sure everybody gives a shout out to the media. Go check out their pages, give them some love and some support. You know, even if you're not a driver and you're just a fan and you have a favorite driver, they do prints, they do video. You can get a print to hang up on the wall of your favorite driver. So it's all just one big family here. We all try to support each other, you know, coming from the sponsors, the media, the volunteers, the staff, the drivers, the spectators. Everybody just try to work in a circle and help everybody out and do their thing. All right, judges, we're looking at that replay and deliberating again, just tit for tat. Looks like it's, seems like they're talking about some chase run. I'm trying to eavesdrop on the judges here, see what they got, but they're deliberating, you know, and that's part of it. Sometimes it takes a minute, but you want to make sure that everybody's making the fair call, you know, just going back and looking at their notes, seeing what's going to weigh heavier. All right, judges call. Cameron Gaskins with the win. Hear the family out there cheering for him. So right here, after they do the, they didn't do a celebration burnout, so we're gonna have the judges come on and explain the call. Try to give you guys the insight of what goes on.
All right, so I'm having a little deja vu with this one because, again, came down to who made the worst mistake. And that's basically what it came down to. So Dustin in his chase looked like he was playing a little bit of catch up and ran 3 of the zones shallow. We did have Cameron with one tire slightly off in his chase, and we weighed heavier on Dustin.
I gotta get a drink, Marshall.
Shallowing up to catch back up. So that's why we ended up going with Cameron for the win.
All right, nice, exciting run there. We got Derek Gaskins in the red Corvette out front, and then Ryan Hiken in the purple BMW with the big smokestack-looking exhaust thing coming off the front there. Nice turbo noises coming out of that thing, and of course that Corvette is always on kill. Man, it's got some power. Nice, exciting run there. We'll swap the order and see how they do, with Gaskins following this time. At least we got a nice little breeze today that helps out a little bit. Thank you all who came out today, and everybody tuning in at home, checking out round 2 of MB Drift's competition series. 2 out of 3 this year. All right. And Ryan's leading this time in the purple BMW. Shoots it into the first turn. Hits the rear zone. There's your front clip. Going out to a wide zone there. A rear touch and go there. And then a front clip is the last judge turn. And then to go a little bit wide. All right, and across the line. Nicely. Nicely done. All right. We'll get them down front and see what the judges deliberate and say who had the advantage here. All right. Derek Gaskins gets the win. Nice, exciting one there. Gaskins on a mission this year. Right, looks like we got Curtis Mabberry pulling up to the line. And Drake Carter. All right. So Mabry's going to lead and Drake Carter's going to follow. And they're off. Curtis Mabberry in the Mustang. Got a new angle kit recently. Oh, goes a little wide there. That's definitely going to be a deduction. At least one, if not 2 tires off track. Didn't face Carter at all, though.
I missed the heater run, but dude.
Yeah. Woo! Man, he's carrying a lot of momentum.
Yeah, man. Curtis came in extremely hot there, man. Got all rooster-tailed up. I was watching Drake earlier today driving, and Drake's he's owning this course today. So, you know, it sucks that he got to go up against Curtis, but, dude.
Yeah, and Curtis missed the other last round of competition, or with his main car anyway.
Yeah.
He had a loaner or a borrowed car.
His car was getting penetrated.
Or backup car. Yeah, but now he's got all this angle now, so that's good. But you still got new car, different feel. You know you got to figure out the car again. You know, every time you make a major change, it's not going to be potentially instant.
And that's one thing for everybody out there listening, live stream, in the crowd, whatever. When you get in the drifting, this is something that I always tell everybody: master, do like get your car ready to drift, master it, modify, master that, modify. Now, obviously, some people come out with a full-blown race car, but I suggest going that route, so you always know what's up with the car, because so we got some track cleanup. But yeah, if you do a modification and master that, then it's not all foreign to you. If you bring your car, put your car under the knife, and you come out with all this new stuff, you're gonna have to relearn it.
The other thing is, if your car is down forever, you're doing you think you need a monster to come out and drift for the first time, or all this stuff. No, be on track, get as much seat time as you can, because that's the best modification you can do, is driving as much as possible.
Yep, and that goes the show.
There's plenty of people that have mostly stock cars that can ball out on the drift track.
Yeah. See, Drake patting the roof. He already knows.
Yeah, I think he felt like he had a pretty decent little advantage there, so he ran a conservative run.
Lead run, you see. I mean, at least
he was making sure he didn't just throw it away.
Exactly. Because that's a lot of times too. Some drivers might be like, "Oh, well, the chase driver spun, so all I got to do is take an easy lap or an easy chase."
As long as you don't take it too easy.
Don't take it too easy, because you might mess up, and then it's like, oh, now you both throw down.
Carter, moving on.
With the win. So we'll see. Drake was driving good today, as mentioned, owning this track, owning this layout. It's right there getting a little burnouts. Let's see if Curtis can throw some angle coming out of here. Nope.
Hold the line, drones aren't ready. Hold the line, drones aren't ready.
All right, so drone's got a repack. I think I talked to them before. I think they get like one or two passes, then they got to come in and change batteries. So it's like constantly changing batteries. It's crazy, man.
But you can't beat the view that you get from those camera angles. So, man, it's so worth it.
Absolutely not. It's just crazy to me, because it's like never-ending pit stops. Just fly in, fly out, fly in, fly out, fly in, fly out.
It's like doing an endurance race with 1 gallon of gas.
Yeah, man. So see that, speaking of that, we're just waiting for the drones to get up into the air. So here we are in our second battle on the right side of the bracket. Got Gabe Broyles going against the man, the myth, the legend himself, Corey Shake Flair.
Yeah, the OG.
Watch out. He'll chop you, man. If you ain't met that man, please go introduce yourself as one of the greatest people you'll ever meet in your life.
That hand weighs heavy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just don't get Flair chopped by him. Been there, done that. Yep, just give him a woo. But yeah, man, Shaky.
Ready to go?
Been in the sport a long time as well. You can catch him up at Piedmont. So you got that. Gabe Broyles up in our top 10.
Yeah, he came out swinging in round 1. He finished pretty good.
Absolutely. Car looking good too.
Yeah. Shaky knows this driver though, so hopefully he'll be able to stick to his door. Small amount of dust popping out of the rear on that.
You hear Shaky giving the car everything it's got, getting around there. Big flick and getting back up into the pocket.
Looks like he got on the line on the inside on the last turn, but I don't know if he went off. I think he kept it on the edge.
See that? Check out the replay here.
Okay, now Shaky gets to lead.
Tell him hold line.
Darren, hold line so they can watch the replay. Oh.
What's that?
Oh.
Okay, no replay.
On this side. All right.
Send it.
All right. So we're good. We were looking for the replay real quick.
Yeah, it didn't save that time, unfortunately.
So driver's going to reverse.
Shaky leading this time.
Yep. Shaky going to throw down that 100-point qualifying run. Looked like Gabe got in a little bit, trying to go ahead and dive in. Super. Oh, look at that. Diving right in.
Man, he's Daigo Saito-ing him.
See that car just. Oh, could that have been? Oh, all right.
Uh-oh. Oh.
It looks like to me.
Ooh. I hope we got replay on that one.
So, yeah. So we're going to have to see
Make sure there was no
Shaky's
contact.
Offline due to contact, because that last turn, if Gabe had dove in too hard, that's an extremely aggressive driving, which is super awesome. That's like
if you can pressure him and not touch him to make a mistake.
We got to see that last one. It looked like it was like a premature dive, and we'll see right there was contact. So it looks like it kind of pushed Shaky out and a little bit of a washout.
So that
to push offline.
So if the judges deem fault by the follow driver.
Yep. So we're gonna see what the judges have to say about that.
Man. Again, I don't envy being in the judges' positions. You got to make some hard calls sometimes.
All right, so we got the eye in the sky coming down. He's got the replay up there. He wants to come down here and get the bigger replay than what he got on the tablet. And just what this is all about again is just we want to verify that, you know, Gabe had a perfect chase run, but then again it gets into where are you too aggressive?
Yeah. And if he caused the contact,
you faulted your. So yeah, so we got last judge going to come over here and see a replay. And again, what it is you're just basically seeing, again, both drivers throwing down good runs like that. Gabe obviously having the better chase run, but again, was that pressure the thing that took yourself out? So we're going to see, because if contact was made and it did push Shaky off, which is looking like that's what's happening, the judges are going to have to kind of go based off of that decision.
And Paul couldn't specifically see the contact because he wasn't in view of the live stream, I guess he had it on tablet.
It was just little, on the little.
So he's getting a better look at that to confirm that before he sides the way, just to make sure. So every judge certainly has the right to do that. Use all the tools in the bag to make sure you make the right decision, and we fully support that.
I mean, I guess on the flip side of it, we'll kind of talk about this for a little bit while we got a moment. You know, as far as the judges making their decision and stuff like that, the drivers, per the rule book, also have the right to petition. So what is a driver petition, you might ask? A driver petition is basically in a scenario where the judges make a call. If it was a very close call and the judges lean one way or another, the person who lost that battle can come to the judges and say, hey, I want to make a petition. I want you guys to review this again.
Check and make sure the right call was made,
Hey, like, per se, we'll just use this for example. If Shaky loses, he could petition and say, well, hey, I didn't go off course. There was contact. I was hit.
Shaky gets the win. Decision was made. There must have been some contact in that second to last turn. Trying to see if I see any fender damage.
And that was a split decision from the judges.
Okay.
And it's just going to go all into the contact, because when they're looking at the replay as well, Shaky didn't, you know, if it was a hard decel, I could see where it could be at fault for contact, but we clearly saw that it was
Yeah, so let's let the judges go ahead and explain it in their own words.
Just to give you a little more of what we were looking at. So, two of us saw the contact being Gabe's fault, pushing Shaky offline. One of us saw it as Shaky with an excessive slowdown that made Gabe make the contact. So, but this is drifting, so
it's subjective, yeah.
The two will get you the win every time.
Okay. Yeah, we all have different viewpoints, and yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
decision was made.
Speaking of petitions, we do have a petition. I had to speak on it, so we'll run.
Yeah, go ahead and knock it out.
We want to go ahead and knock out this next run, and then you guys hear the petition. You want to do that, or you want to hang tight? All right. So. All right. Yep. Yeah, the petition is in time. Yep. All right, yep.
Yep. So he is the driver. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're saying. We'll run this one, and then they can. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and run this battle, and then we're gonna come into the petitioning. We got the petition is Rodney Blankenship and Taylor Walker's run, and that's gonna. I know exactly what that's coming down to. That's where they had to basically weigh the weight of each mistake.
Sure. Yeah, so in our point series, 30 points is awarded towards line and angle out of a 100-point scale. And then we also have the style aspect, which is the last 40 points is broken between two different categories. We break out style versus proximity. So we give 15 points for style and 15 points for proximity. So proximity isn't quite as highly weighted as it is in FD.
Being a grassroots
at this
series,
early
yes.
level. So we want to get the line and the angle down first, and then you can graduate on to more proximity-based levels of competition.
Absolutely. And that's pretty much like your drift pyramid. You know, you want to start out practice days and all that, work your way up, do something with us.
All right, here we got one of these young men I was talking about going against one of the top drivers. This is Ivan Herrera in the red G35. He is only 18 years old, and he can wheel.
Definitely got his hands full. Last round, it was against Derek Gaskins.
Yeah, he's pulling some tough battles.
Yeah.
Good run by both drivers.
What I would consider one of the top three drivers.
Yeah.
Obviously,
his point standings position does not reflect his driving skill.
Absolutely. I'm not sure what's going on this year, but
well, just round one, he must have just hit somebody that was really on a tear.
So Tony drives always consistent, always filling them zones. Basically a stock vehicle. Has tune and obviously some suspension upgrades and stuff like that, but running factory motor for the vehicle. So Ivan got the swap. Remember last time we were interviewing talking about probably after this year going to do a little bit of a motor swap or something like that. So it's cool. See Ivan out there and another young buck. These are the future of the sport.
Yeah.
So these are going to be the dudes that are.
It's
having
nice
gray
to
hairs
see
like
the
us.
level of enthusiasm these young guys have, man, and girls. That they just get so excited about it, and that's something we love.
Absolutely. So here we go. Ivan going to be in the lead, coming through, getting into that touch and go pretty good. So we'll see. Tony's going to come around, try to apply the pressure. Try to close that gap. Nice transition, timed very well. So right there, a little bit of that. Seemed like a lot of slowdown from the lead car, but that just shows the skill from Tony. Was able to just park it right there and maintain drift, dude.
Ivan was right on the line, I think, of that last turn that we wanted to be pushed out wide, but Tony went way over the line. He dipped at least one tire on that last turn only.
Last turn only?
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. So we're watching the replay. Yep, one tire off.
So I don't know if it's equal because Ivan may have dipped his tire or if it stayed half on or something.
Yeah,
but
I'd have to
Tony
say,
was well over the line
from
what I saw.
Lead for lead, Tony had the better lead.
Okay.
So it's all going to have to
come down to the follow.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Maybe the judges see that way. Maybe they won't.
Yeah,
we all have our
I mean,
opinions.
obviously the judges have their call and they're looking at it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just looking to see some cool driving and watch. I do see mine. I try not to influence anything or weigh heavily on anything, but.
Close the call.
All right, Tony drives, gets the win. Anton Shenderov taking the win. So we're gonna take a couple minutes here to do our protests.
Yes, we'll take a quick break.
Let Rodney present the case.
Let the judges explain why they decided to go the way they did.
So you never know.
Battle.
There have been situations where calls have been awarded. Marshall, what do you say? So this is one thing about the live stream. If since we're technically taping is in progress, we're gonna go to a commercial break while they.
Before Facebook and bullshit raps, there was a time when MCs used to bust sick tracks. Nah, don't get mad, I'm not saying you can't spit. Some of you wasn't born in, some of you was kids. I was 15, born in 1980, so that's 9-5. Yeah, some of the best albums of all time. If I was you, a download bill for Cuban links. Through home, living proof was deeper than you think. E40 dropped in a major way, made up his own words, that's why we all say it's all good. And 9 had 9 lives. What you want, 9 fat beats for my rhyme. AZ though or die, you had the double time flow. While the pop charts were dancing to Cotton Eye Joe. Where did he come from? Where did he go? I was watching Biggie on VHS in the show. But people weren't into it. Mike Geronimo dropped the natural, it was nice. The radio was killing Coolio with Gangsta's Paradise. Big L lifestyles of the poor and dangerous out there, brothers. But people weren't into it. Mike Geronimo dropped the natural, it was nice. The radio was killing Coolio with Gangsta's Paradise. Big L lifestyles of the poor and dangerous out there. Next time you're in a jam and you hear Brooklyn Zoo, that's ODB. I paid 15 quid for the CD. I was in the studio working. A young kid, my hairstyle was the blue gel with the curtains. They called me Fat Boy from Def Jam. It was funny. I had the tape of Lost Boys, legal drug money. Lee Ramsey was the best off the top. Pure genius drop. Undercover when the Knox thing popped. Before
Hold on. Apparently we have 2 more protests.
Let's see this. I'll let everybody in the.
You shouldn't have said that.
Huh?
You shouldn't have talked so much about protests online.
Yeah. All right, just to let y'all in the crowd know, 2 more people came up to protest. You know, unfortunately, it's a time killer, but it is the name of the game. We want to make sure that everybody has a fair chance. You know, a lot of money is spent to come out here, a lot of time, blood, sweat, tears. If you're a drift wife, you already know. So we got the judges talking over there. I'm not sure who else was protesting at the time, but just want to let you know, and we'll be back at it shortly. Oh, it looks like over there on Grid, man, that's something you don't see every day. Crown Vic.
Did you overturn that first one with Gabe and Shaky? Negative. And I don't think that was the protest. I think it was a different driver. Copy that.
Just say check, check. Check, check. It just sounds like there's an echo. Say something again.
used to bust sick tracks. Nah, don't get mad, I'm not saying you can't spit. Some of you wasn't born in, some of you was kids. I was 15, born in 1980, so that's 95. Yeah, some of the best albums of all time. If I was you, a download bill for Cuban links. Group home, living proof was deeper than you think. E40 dropped in a major way, made up his own words, that's why we all say it's all good. A 9 had 9 lives, what you want, 9 fat beats for my rhyme. AZ though or die, you had the double time flow, while the pop charts were dancing to Cotton Eye Joe. Where did he come from? Where did he go? I was watching Biggie on VHS in the show, but people weren't into it. Mike Geronimo dropped the natural, it was nice. The radio was killing Coolio with Gangsta's Paradise. Big L lifestyles of the poor and dangerous out there, brothers, but people weren't into it. Mike Geronimo dropped the natural, it was nice. The radio was killing Coolio with Gangsta's Paradise. Big L lifestyles of the poor and dangerous out there. Next time you're in a jam and you hear Brooklyn Zoo, that's ODB. I paid 15 quid for the CD. I was in the studio working. A young kid, my hairstyle was the blue gel with the curtains. They called me Fat Boy from Def Jam. It was funny. I had the tape of Lost Boys, legal drug money. Lee Ramsey was the best off the top. Pure genius drop. Undercover when the nuts thing popped. Before Facebook and bullshit raps, there was a time when MCs used to bust sick tracks. Nah, don't get mad, I'm not saying you can't spit. Some of you wasn't born in, some of you was kids. I was 15, born in 1980, so that's 95. Yeah, some of the best albums of all time. If I was you, a download bill for Cuban links. Group home, living proof was deeper than you think. E40 dropped in a major way, made up his own words, that's why we all say it's all good. A 9 had 9.
All right, so we had some more protests came in after that, but we're all set. So everybody's making their way back to the judges' area. So as soon as the judges get back up here, and then we'll see down there, if you're on, the live stream, you see down there, what is that? What's that? What is that on down there on grid, man? Is that a Crown Vic? Darren, is that a Crown Vic? It is. So got the Crown Vic, man. It's here. I heard it has a lot of Mustang parts on it. Angle kit too, right? Oh, today is the Army's birthday. Happy birthday to anybody that was in the Army. Happy birthday to the Army. That was your grandfather at one time, Mr. Uncle Sam himself. And also on that, any veterans that are out there, thank you for serving your country, keeping us safe. All right. So we did have a protest that got overturned where they looked at it. They are going to do it one more time. So that was the Dustin Walker Cameron Gaskins battle. I have one you can borrow when you bring it back. But I don't have an extra. You could, if you look at my truck and look at the center console, that might be one. The Tahoe right beside the camper, the gold Tahoe.
If we're reviewing it and one person changes their mind,
right this over here by the MB Drift camper. So go to the merch stand, and it's the Tahoe on the other side. Yep. Like it's right there where the ashtray's at, in the cup holder. Yep, no problem. Sorry about that. So yeah, back to it. Crown Vic down there, man. Got some Mustang parts, got angle kit and all that. 5-speed swapped. See that? Got the lights on. Ready to lay down the law, be the enforcer. So let's see here, got a tough opponent ahead of you. So we're gonna have. They just signed it. So we got Max Seabear leading the line, coming up against Shane White, driving the Crown Vic. Usually driving the GMC Canyon out there. Looks like Max getting easy work. And it's crazy too because the Crown Vic was laying it down all day long. Those are pretty good runs, but right there we obviously going to see that Max Seabear is going to get the advantage going in there. Seemed like Crown Vic just kind of got out of drift right there, straighten through that clip, straighten. More of playing the cop role than the drifter. So see there, they're going to come back around. Sean's going to come up and do his lead run. Have Max in the back. I would be, I wouldn't say I would expect this, but I would expect to see Max leaving a little bit of room behind that thing just to stay in drift. But then again, Sean's going to lay down a nice lead lap, hopefully, and we'll see what it's up. So coming in to initiate. Very nice on the Crown Vic. See, getting a good line already. Max had to kind of adjust speed. Look at that. Crown Vic doing work. Heater of a lead lap. Body roll and all. Love it. So see that? Max doing a good chase run. We'll look at the replay again for those of y'all at home. Got those 3, 2, 1 initiation marks, throwing it in. Right there. Max had to check up a little bit on speed coming around, but you got that big body car coming around. So obviously we know where this is going to go. Max Seabear with the win. Shane White throwing a good lead line down though, man. That's cool to see. Crown Vic, I guarantee one of the few drift events you'll see a Crown Vic out there sliding. You take that thing down to the Freedom Factory, have a blast. So right there, we just saw Dad Shane White. Up next, the son, AJ White, another sim driver turned competitor. So see AJ White over there in the white 350Z going against Russell Canada. Russell coming out with the red Mustang over there on the right side, having a higher qualifying score, so we'll be leading first. Got the vet over there throwing down on the fun course. It's cool too because coming out here learning and now linking the course. That's what it's all about. So here we go. We're going to send off. Got Russell throwing that nice wide line, making all use of that touch and go area. See, they're getting a little bit of shallow into that rear zone. A little bit of an early transition, didn't get into that rear clip, but following out strong. Both drivers riding that outside line, which is what we want to see. So we're gonna go back, both drivers taking different routes. Come back, flip positions for the second half of the battle. So we got that, the judges looking at the replay. I hear them mentioning about some tires off course. So again, if you already hear them debating it, you know that will be a factor into the judge's decision.
Got you scared, huh?
It's right here, and Brian is saying send them. So here we go, AJ White going to come in, nice initiation. Really shallow off of that rear touch and go. Russell trying to reel it in, making really nice use of that. Well, you see there offline 2 times, so that's going to seal the deal.
Huh. I think Russ must have broke his car or something because that's normally his buddy's car, right?
Yep.
Because he had that S14,
Yeah,
I
Russell
think?
rocking the VQ S14, so in a borrowed car as well, but definitely throwing it down, man. You know, unfortunately for AJ, got so nice into that deep zone. I feel like just rode it out a little bit too long. Because as soon as you exit out of that, you got to immediately shoot back into the opposite side of the track. So we'll see what the judges have to say if they want to weigh heavily on that one. Oh my, fun course.
Ripping it.
What is going on?
Yeah, the cool. All right, looks like Russell Canada gets the win in the red Mustang.
The win.
A little extra celebration by both of them. All right, putting on a good show for us.
There it is. And see, I would say too, you know, I don't think it was that hard for Russell to jump back into the Mustang.
Yeah, it's his old chassis. He should be fairly familiar with it.
Exactly. So
I think he works on a lot of the cars too.
Was, you know, being the old chassis, you have that familiarity to it. So, you know, you just gotta jump back into it, get in the hang of things, just like riding a bike. So looking up next, we got Dan Stoneburner in lead. George Turner in chase. So right here, Dan Stoneburner, the LS S14, Turbo Miata in chase. I love that car. Always throwing down, dude, the turbo. Look at that thing surging.
Oh, surging then straighten. Dang.
And I think that's probably what happened. Yeah, surged right into a D-cell. Dude, that thing
came on a little too strong at the wrong time, huh?
That thing moves. Slouch on the Miata. So see here for Yozu on the replay. We'll kind of look back and see what happened. Was that a surge too?
Yeah, so after we get through the end of top 32, we are going to take a short break, and then we're going to get to drivers on track and do driver announcements.
For the top 16.
Yeah. We'll show you who your top 16 drivers to make the show are.
Yeah, that's where I was when I was going.
All right. See that? It seemed to be like George kind of ran away. I know Dan had his car extremely gripped up last round. So I wonder if pulling some grip out of the vehicle kind of hurt a little bit. Just kind of not having that lateral acceleration to be able to pick up speed to close the gap and get on tight on that door. So the judges are still watching the replays. It's kind of, again, going tit for tat. See right there, once George gets into the power right into that rear zone, man, it's like, see ya. All right. So going on that, look like some mistakes, some tire drops and whatnot. Looks like Stoneburner is getting the win.
Oh, come on. What'd you guys have on that one as far as what was the deciding factor on that?
It's just mid-zones.
All right. So it looks like that one is going to come down to zones. So again, like we saw earlier, just being, you know, again, in your lead run, you want to run a 100-point qualifying run. So you want to do the best you can do. So it looked like what it came down to was lead for lead, just being shallow in zones where other drivers filled the zones. So as Marshall said earlier, you know, the proximity weighs a little bit less heavy, you know, pretty much going more heavily on line and speed and angle.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, it's not a great difference, but it's significant enough. Like proximity is only 15 points, and the other point are basically double that at 30.
All right. So here we go, the last battle in the right side. Oh, we're going to go back to it one more time before we go to the last battle of the bracket. So we're going to have the Dustin Walker and Cameron Gaskins battle for the one more time. So right there, both drivers know that they have to prove something in this battle. Both drivers, seems like so far, everybody's running a good line. Lead run looking good, chase run looking good, just except for that little tire drop on the inside. Cameron getting in a little bit of a tire dump there.
Might come down to some minor differences on
so
this
again,
one.
I already hear the judges talking about some minor differences. So again, as mentioned, this is one you can't leave on the table, folks. You got to make sure that you are 100% without a doubt saying, hey, this is mine. I'm taking it home, being hungry. So, you know, it may work out in the good where, you know, you put on a little more pressure than you would usually do and you come out with the victory, or it could come out bad to where we saw in the battle earlier with Gabe Broyles and Shaky, where you put on a little bit too much pressure and fall victim.
Yeah. Okay, again, we got Cameron Gaskins in the lead this time. He's a 18-year-old, another young man that's got a lot of passion for driving, and we're excited to see it. And then Dustin Walker's in the follow with the 350Z with the greenish, bronze-ish paint. Both great drivers. Ooh, a couple another inside tire dips there. See how bad these were offline here, if we can. This last turn is kind of a little bit of a judging factor here. So, all looking good there. And then good on the front and this wide here, but okay, looks like both drivers kind of came close to the inside there. We'll see how the judges rule on that. Give us just a moment here, folks. All right. Again, just want to give a shout out to sponsors that are supporting us, and we hope you can support them as well. Here at MB Drift, we've got Bridge Moto, Powder by Sea Ray powder coating. We got Fortunato supporting us. Turbo Time. This guy knows his stuff. He helped one of our volunteers out here get his car going recently. We got Stage Wheels, giving out a set of wheels for the season. Great products there. Cruisin' Auto, the Fayetteville Performance Shop. They can get you parts and stuff as well. Turbo Time does parts also. And then, of course, ECU Master coming on new this year, paying out 5 places, and that's a big name. We're happy to have our name associated with, you know,
that involvement. And again, as always, we just like to thank everybody. And you know, without the sponsors, it's not possible to give the drivers prizes like we do. You know, we kick some MB Drift cash, but it's always nice to have a little extra.
Yeah.
And again, as we mentioned earlier, you know, all these products and all these companies are designed to take you to the next level. So, you know, whether you're having fun or you're competing, sorry, my voice cracked.
Yeah. But there's always a next level, no matter where you're at.
So again, whether, you know, you come with us and you compete on the grassroots level, you know, whether you want to go pro or not is up to you, or you want to go to the big money events, or, you know, just chase your dreams.
There's a lot that can be learned here, yeah.
Absolutely. So this is one of those times where you can utilize the equipment from the sponsorship programs to build your vehicle up to.
And a lot of these companies offer a discount based on being associated and driving with us.
Whenever you come from grassroots to pro-am, you're going to have safety gear, you know, more intense safety gear. You're going to have to have a better helmet. You're going to have, you know, some places you're going to have window nets, arm restraints, fire suppression systems.
Yeah.
And or if you come out here and you just want to do your thing in a stock car and then decide you want to go out. So you can get some coilovers, some parts, get your car dynoed and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, coilovers is a big upgrade if you don't have them.
That's one of the first things that you want to get for your car.
An upgrade from cheap coilovers to a quality set of, you know, coilovers like Fortunato can make a huge difference as well.
Exactly.
Especially if you're trying to get to that next level where grip's starting to be an issue, things like that, you can get a lot more bite if you talk to the representatives at Fortunato.
Absolutely.
They can hook you up and really set up something custom if need be, or just let you know what off the shelf parts will get you to where you're trying to go.
It's one more time again. All right, so let's see what we got here. It looks like they are going to do...
Going straight into it one more time. We're getting down to the end here.
Oh, no, I think we're going last battle real quick. Let's see.
Gaskins and
all right,
Walker are on the line.
Dang. Still back on the one more time.
By ruling,
so here, they got to seal the deal because you only
late
get 2
entry
more
by
times, and the final
Gaskins on that
has
one.
to been made. So I don't know what happened there on Gaskins on that, but
he was sleeping on the line maybe.
And chasing down Dustin Walker. Coming in, Dustin making nice use of the track there on that exit.
Trying to make it
again,
definitive.
I'm gonna look at the replay and see kind of what happened on.
And he didn't jump the line or anything, right?
Offline.
Maybe Cameron was just sleeping, huh?
Hesitation or something. I'm not sure. It's hard to say, but Dustin definitely putting the car where it needed to be. Looks like they're getting close to being a tire off. And again, the proximity isn't going to play too heavy of a role. Obviously, it will. So again, if any drivers, if you get knocked out or anything, you want to come on the live stream, do it to it. So there we go. Cameron Gaskins leading. Dustin Walker had to put on the brakes, left foot brake, getting big tire smoke out of that. Dustin isn't leaving the judges any room to make the decision. Want to put it to the door and make sure that the judges say his name. I don't know where that. Not like that. But, you know, call him as the winner.
Say my name.
Call him as the winner. So again, this is one of those. Dustin Walker getting the win.
All right. Yeah, I think it was
so
just
that added proximity is what sealed the deal. Both
by the young man coming off the line.
But kind of the proximity being the added bonus on this race.
So we got one more battle, right? In top 32. We got Frankie Evans and Levi Cotwitz up next.
Seeing up here in front of the judges stand, we got Rockingham's own Will Toller in the house.
All right.
Wearing the red shirt, your skin's almost matching. Probably over there at the drag strip today, coming over, doing all the motorsports here in Richmond County.
And everything else, too. All right, last battle of top 32, and then we'll take a little break. Get the course freshened up, maybe, with the lines.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go out there and freshen up course. And then we got to get it pretty for this top 16 introductions.
This is going to be exciting. Yeah, we're going to bring all the top 16 drivers that moved on and won their first battle down on the front straight and stand them outside the car and announce to the crowd and to the live stream folks at home who they are. And kind of show that they won. Hold the line.
All right, so as soon as the drones get in the air, we'll send this last pairing.
Okay, again, Frankie Evans.
So we'll do our introductions. We don't have Umbrella Girls. The clouds look like they'll do it for us. So if you're a drifter, hopefully your girlfriend is your own cheerleader. Umbrella Girl. So see, that looks like the drones getting the pack changed right now. I still think it's crazy how many batteries they gotta change all the time. It's just in and out, in and out, in and out. See there, getting a little breeze coming in. Looks like track temps went down 115, so a little bit hotter than it was earlier.
All right, your drone in the sky. Looks like we're good to go.
Frankie Evans leading. Levi in chase. Got the drone in the air.
Let's go ahead and send it.
We are ready to send. So there we go. We got the famous Brian Bernard throwing down that infamous green flag here at Rockingham Speedway.
Yeah. All right, so we got the BMW coming in the lead there.
Yep, so you got Frankie up front. Levi getting a big old dirt drop, getting a big portion of property. Frankie's always extremely consistent, so we'll see coming around that last corner.
Pretty off track there, though. That's a mistake by the lead driver to put at least one wheel so far off. We'll have to check and make sure it wasn't two.
Yeah, those of you at home, you'll be
I
able
hope
to see
he realizes that is off track.
On the MBK replay. See there, coming around, making nice use of that rear touch and go, front clip.
Yeah, Levi in the follow, a little bit notchy. You know, he kind of would get up close and then back off.
Here, coming around, this is what we want to look at, that last corner. Just getting a little bit of one tire in there. And that's what the judges wanted to look at. Oh, yeah, on the fun course, the Outsider GTO. It's always cool to see the GTO out there because just another uncommon drift chassis.
Yeah.
Behind that, looks like what we got next on the fun course, JZX 100. Joe Sell actually won that car in a raffle.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so won that car in a raffle. So here we go. Levi up front, Frankie in back.
Oh,
like
he
Frankie
fell out.
Lost a little bit of momentum, had to straighten right there.
Wow, that's a
This
huge
may
mistake.
come into see
Very
what the judges have to call on that, but
uncharacteristic.
finishing out strong right there. Oh, getting a little bit straight again. What?
Uh-oh, low contact
Now,
possibly.
obviously, that being after the finish line, see, you know, the contact after the finish line, so the
Well,
judges
you have
look
to
back
look
that
at the
line,
replay and
obviously, after the finish.
It seemed like
One thing about drifting, you do have to leave the course under control. So that's part about it. You want to leave the course under control coming across that finish line where you see that cone is. Hear that JZX 100 over there screaming. Another buddy going. Here's some V8 action coming from over there. Mason Magnolo. 5.3 swap FRS. A few bolt-ons. All right, and your winner in that battle is Levi.
Yeah, he's another young man, only 18 or 19 years old, man, and he has got some passion. He won at an event at Piedmont not too long ago, I heard.
And that's, oh, we may have a, pulling right up, we may have a protest right off the rip. So we're gonna see.
All right. Well, we thought we were done with top 32, but we got just a moment, folks.
One,
They're going to confirm.
Now, the protests are a lot better than they were. Last year, we had some protests. We had to change the rule book to limit it to.
Yeah, we lost 15 minutes on one protest that one time.
You know, unfortunately, it's one of those things we got to do. It's the driver's right to be able to protest, to make sure that, you know, everybody has a fair shot.
Yeah. Because, you know, it is possible to make a mistake and not see something in particular.
You could definitely see, you know, one more time situation, or, you know, the judges may stand on their calling. I think what it went to, I think what their calling went to was from multiple straightens. So we saw straighten right there on initiation coming through the bridge. Now, could that have been just a little bit of getting choked up and having to...
Yeah. As long as the lead driver's not doing anything shady with, like, you know, brake checking or anything like that. So maybe that's something that they're saying is a possibility. So I don't know.
A few different factors that could come into it. It's you can't be...
That stood out of the ordinary on that?
Absolutely not.
Hey, let's review it and make sure we got the right call.
So we see them there over there as we speak, reviewing the tape from the MBK Productions. Got that. They're posted up. MBK headquarters over here, looking back through the video, kind of reviewing what we got, see what the judges' call is, if they had let the call stand or it had been reversed. So could very well be, if, you know, basically whatever the judges call, could do it one more time.
So talk to the live streaming crowd real quick about what happened and what was the explanation.
All right, so we got Adam here is going to kind of go through this last run that we saw, kind of go through what he saw and where the judges made the decision they made.
Yeah, so we had Frank and Levi on track there, and from what we saw, Frank had straightened up a couple times and had to reinitiate in his chase, and then where the decision had to be made was on the last corner. Levi ended up over-rotating the car, but there was contact front wheel to front wheel, and as drivers know, you get contact on the front wheel, and it's pretty much out of your hands what happens after that. The car's going to
Okay.
do what it wants. Now, if there was no contact, would Levi had over-rotated the car? No one knows. But because there was contact, we have to deem it was because of the contact he over-rotated the car.
You can't guess on what might have happened. Okay.
How did the straightens come into play?
So obviously there would have been huge deductions. Without Levi spinning at the end, it was hands down Levi won because of the straightens and the reinitiations. But because of that contact at the end, you open up a whole new book of who was at fault. Because a spin versus a straighten, right? Because per the rules, you can have a slight straighten and a reinitiation. It's a deduction, but a spin is a 0. So we had to make sure we got that one right for the spin.
Okay. Good explanation. All right, so that wraps up Top 32 for now. We're going to take a break. We appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully, go to the bathroom, grab you a snack, grab some drinks. We'll be back here in hopefully about 15, 20 minutes, and we'll do our top 16 introductions and then go straight into battles after that. So grab a break. We're going to take a break. Grab a snack, like I said, and we'll see you back shortly. Please tune in and check it out. There's going to be some exciting runs.